Hey folks, glad you could join me here. Just finishing up some logistics. You might have seen that countdown timer go off twice. That was a little weird, but here we are. So I appreciate you all joining me again here on a Thursday evening. We got some really cool stuff that we're going to cover here. And if you don't know, my name is Joel Sangerman, and we're all part of the Terms Daddy Real Estate Investor and Live Seller Calls family. And if you're not already with the family, and you might be on YouTube then, because you'd be with the family if you're in the Facebook group. But if you're on YouTube, I need you to go down and hit that subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button. Click on that little bell icon, maybe like the video. It helps get this information out into the ether, which of course encourages me to put more of this valuable information that none of y'all are paying for out there, so that you can have some gold nuggets to move forward with. But yeah, go on YouTube. The other thing is, on YouTube, I can see your names as you comment, and I can put them up on the screen and maybe answer questions and things of that nature. In Facebook, there's some settings that you have to put in. I can't see actually who's saying what, so unless I'm in Facebook, but from StreamYard, I can't. So I can't actually address you by name. So go ahead and do that now if you're so inclined. We got a hell of a night for you here. And what I'd say is, I like doing these events. You know, they're totally free. I like to point out, though, that you might consider whether or not this is actually free, because all of y'all who are in the group, but who are not in the elite coaching, elite mentoring program, you might think that you're getting all this excellent information for free. But I guess I'd question, are you actually getting it for free? What I mean by that is, you're not paying me, but you're probably paying. You're probably paying the universe in some way, shape, or form with missed opportunities, which can be costly because, for some reason at this point, you haven't decided to really, really dig in and get the skills that allow you to take advantage of the colossal opportunities that my clients who are in the coaching and I get exposed to every single day. We just came off a coaching call. Guy who'd been with me since 2020 talked about 20 deals that he has. Now, not only did he make a lot of money on those deals, but there was a lot of luck in the sense that between 2020 and where we are today, do you have any idea how much appreciation has occurred in most markets? That's luck. You can't control that. But some of you have been in this Facebook group for years. You could have came in 2020, just get a couple of deals. You probably would have 7 figures on the board right now. So when I say not getting the skills, not getting the coaching, not getting the mentoring, not getting all the nuance that goes along with these general events that I'm sharing with you, you might think you're getting it for free, but maybe you're not. So, okay. So let's take a look. I want to pull up some slides here. One thing I guess, not to harp on it too much, I want to kind of get into this, but it is true that you are here, right? And that is definitely a start, and it should be duly noted, and it's definitely appreciated. It's just that you got to know that these Facebook live events, these YouTube live events, it's just not enough. It reminds me of that Barry White song, right? It's just not enough. You can't get enough of your love, baby. Isn't that what he says? Isn't that the name of the song? Seriously, you need more. So let's see if we can get a plan together for you. All you got to do is go ahead and book a call. I think I have it streaming across the bottom there. It looks like I do. I'm not going to bite you. It will be a call with me. We'll talk about it. And at the very least, on that call that you'll have with me on a Zoom, one-on-one, you'll walk away with a plan at the very least. But at best, you get onboarded, and you get onboarded to the greatest coaching program that the planet has ever seen, if I do say so myself. A lot of other people are saying that too. Go check out all of our testimonials and whatnot. But I'm not here to prove that to you. I'm here to talk to you about how in the world did we get a 7-figure payday across 3 houses in 1 year. It's not bad, right? That's just like a sample of the different things that we've done. So here's the thing. Y'all don't know how close you are. This is why, look, you don't have to get coaching with me. You don't even have to jump on a call with me. It doesn't really affect me that much, but it does affect who? It affects you, right? You all don't know how close you are. That's why I keep pushing. I've been inspired lately by watching Coach Prime, right? Deion Sanders. He pushes because he knows that he's helping these folks to a great degree. Y'all don't know how close you are. You're just a few skills away. And you just have to assess what's riskier, what's a bigger gamble. Putting a few $1,000s that would be hard for you to get maybe, or that you just don't want to pay. Putting a few $1,000s into something that can get you results that can put 7 figures and more on the board, or give you the skills to do this kind of stuff for life. What's riskier, doing that or doing nothing? Just this kind of stuff, which, let's face it, 95% of the time, you're not going to, most people from Facebook Lives and events, regardless of who the trainer is, it's not going to be enough. Again, go back to Barry White. It's just not enough. It's just not enough. I love the way he talks in that song, but it's just not enough. And if you do nothing, the status quo is maintained. Nothing changes. You remain a job slave potentially. And what I'm trying to tell you is, in today's world, $1 million, it's not chump change, but you need to get, probably to at least that. And if you haven't started doing that and you're too cheap to put a couple $1,000s into coaching, then we'll see what happens. 5% of you can be successful without coaching. So if you want to take that risk, go ahead. But here's the thing. You know how, because I'm going to get into this. I'm not trying to turn this into like a shameless sales pitch here. You don't have to do this with me. I just want you to get some kind of coaching. There's other good coaches out here, okay? You're going to pay a lot more money and probably not get as much out of it. But there are other good coaches for sure. I can even help you determine who those people are if you don't like me or my style, right? You should still jump on the Zoom call with me. Here's the thing. If you learn to do something once you get it, it's like you could just do it into perpetuity. So I was kind of trying to think of an example of that. You know how there's things that you just can't do, but then as soon as you learn how to do it and you actually get it, it's so easy to repeat. Well, real estate is like that. Like for me, it just seems so easy to do this stuff because I've been doing it for 30 years. Now I know for new people, it's not. So I'm driving my daughter to school the other day. And I know this is really stupid, and I don't know if I want to do this on YouTube, but I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway. But she wanted to know how to do this, make that sound, right? And she couldn't do it, but I showed her how to do it. She failed like 8, 9, 10 times. And then once she did it like that, she could, now she's driving me crazy with it. Absolutely driving me nuts with it. I wish I didn't show it to her. But the point is, once you learn something, you can do it over and over and over and over and over again. How cool would it be to do the stuff I'm about to show you over and over and over and over again? If I show you how to do this, do you think that you could pick up 10 measly properties over a relatively short period of time with not that much effort, getting help along the way? Just doing it on average houses, right? I think the median is in the 300s, right? $300,000 house, that kind of house that people want to live in. You get 10 of those, even though there might not be any equity in it, because of the way I'm going to show you these deals that we did. you're not spending any of your own money, not using any of your own credit to get into these deals. You do 10 of those, that's $3 million of assets that eventually is going to get paid down by the people that you have in there, or it's going to, well, it might not appreciate. It could go down on paper, right? But you still have cash flow. You'd have non-refundable deposits. The kinds of things that I'm going to share with you are option fees. And you're in line if you just did that for $3 million. So look, here's the point. So the industry, real estate investment, it's very, very large. I got to make sure, like, you guys can all put things in the comments. I'm going to come into the at the end and kind of take a look at some of the comments in here. I forgot to do that last week, and I will. In fact, let me see. How do I pull these up? I already see some in here, or do I? Let's see. Am I showing the comments here? Oh, what did I just do? There we go. Yeah, if you make comments in here, I should be able to see them and see who it is, at least from YouTube. But here's the point I want to make. Now, think about this. I'm going to give you some numbers here. They're going to blow your mind, literally blow your mind. This industry, real estate investment, or actually just home ownership, right? Home ownership. So if you take all the homes in America, listen to this, guys. This is going to blow your mind. It blew my mind. It may not blow yours. If you take all the homes in America and look at the market capitalization, meaning what is all the homes in America times the value, you get to $50 trillion, plus or minus, right? There's no real accurate way of doing this, but it's somewhere around $50 trillion. Do you know that dwarfs the entire market capitalization of the stock market? You know what's a bigger market than the stock market? The bond market, like all the loan products that are out there, bonds. That's a bigger number than the entire bond market of the US. $50 trillion. Now, I know that doesn't mean much, but here's what this is the point. Is it time for you to get a slice of that gigantic sized pie? So hold that thought for just a second, because I'm going to show you just a $1 million slice. Like, I put these emails out, $1 million sounds like a lot of money, right? I'm going to show you a $1 million slice of a $50 trillion pie. $1 million slice within just 1 year, just 3 houses, 3 measly little pathetic deals. They're not pathetic, but 3 deals that anyone could get or could have had, besides me getting them, if you had some training, if you'd put a couple $1,000s into maybe getting the right training. Now, get a pen out if you have one and write this down, because this is what I think is really interesting. So if you do the math, $1 million might mean the world to you, right? Like, if you had $1 million right now, what would you do in your life? But $1 million in relation to a $50 trillion US housing market cap, the market cap, all the houses times the value of them. $1 million is this much of that. 0.0000002% of $50 trillion. So that's a 0.5 zeros and then a 2 of $50 trillion. You ain't got to do much, folks. You just got to get a little teeny tiny slice, of that pie. And if you can get that little slice many times over, that would really be something, right? Well, it starts by investing in yourself. Now, I don't know that a few $1,000s to get millions of dollars, I don't know if that's attractive to you or not. Seems like you might want to be lining up for that. I don't know. But anyway, let me get off this soapbox, y'all, and kind of show you what's going on here. Okay, I want to show you these 3 deals. I got to figure out how to share my screen here so you can see these things. Let me just talk about them for a second, okay? Getting into the substantive part here, okay? In terms of these actual deals. So I picked these 3 deals that we round tripped. We sold out of them, within a year, where the total profits exceeded $1 million. Now, again, $1 million, not really an impressive number like it used to be. So many people still use it though as really a benchmark. So I really just wanted to show you how close you already are, like right out of the gates, to being able to do the same, which is getting 3 deals, let alone how many more you can do in the next year, or imagine over a lifetime once you have the right knowledge and the right skills. Yeah. Cost a little money to get the skills. Oh my God. Because Facebook Lives, YouTube University, it's a little bit different than getting one-on-one coaching every single day of your real estate life so that you can put these numbers on the board. It's a little bit different, isn't it? Success rate with coaching, just so you know, it's exponentially greater than trying to do things yourself. Just look at like franchises versus mom and pop businesses. Subway versus a delicatessen, for example. Subway, like 85% of those franchises make money. Delicatessen goes up. It's probably better food, but they don't have a system. And I don't know, a very significant portion of small mom and pop businesses fail. I don't know what the number is. I didn't look that one up. But you can try to do things yourself, but I can promise you that the most expensive cost that you'll ever have in your life, it's the cost associated with a lack of know-how. Lack of know-how is way, way, way more expensive than paying to just learn how. I just talked about my guy, Jeff, who was in our Zoom call, been with us since 2020. 20 houses, most of them done the exact same way that I talked about here. He does things, he might be even better than me in some ways. It's just the thing. I'm not, I didn't come out of the womb knowing how to do this stuff. Some people are just meant for this, but he's done phenomenally well. But just think about that for a second. What didn't you get in the last few years? A lot of y'all have been in this group for a long time. What didn't you get in the last few years in real estate appreciation, which I know you can't have a skill to make properties appreciate, but you can put yourself in a position where luck happens, right? Because it's luck if you get appreciation. You don't really know that things are going to appreciate, but luck is that crossroads where preparation meets opportunity. So I want to prepare you, and then you go out and take advantage of opportunities, and you end up with luck. You end up with appreciation. But not only do you end up with appreciation, I would have made a lot of money on these properties even without appreciation that I'm going to show you. We got debt paid on, we got cash flow, we got upfront checks. And you know why? I'm just going to pound this into you. I'm just going to beat this into you. I'm going to beat it into you. It's because you would have prioritized a few $1,000s into coaching instead of, what did you really do? You bought the latest iPhone, iPad, vacation that probably sucked, restaurants, entertainment. Yeah, the entertainment feels good. But you know what? That stuff has left you with millions less than you could have had if you put that money into a training. Put it into a training a couple of years ago that works as well as this. And now you're sitting on 10 properties that, are worth 300,000 or were anyway. You use none of your own money, none of your own credit to buy them. And they went up 50% in value. So you bought them for 300 where they had 300 debt on them. You had no equity, zero equity, but they went up 50% in value over the last couple of years. So how much is that on 3 million? If properties went up 50% in value, which they have in a lot of markets over the last 3 years, that's $1.5 million in equity. You could sell all of them, put $1.5 million in your pocket. But you bought the new iPhone. How cool are you? 3 million of assets going up 50% is $1.5 million. Is iPhone 14 that freaking good? I don't know. I mean, was the Pirates of the Caribbean at Disney? Was Pirates of the Caribbean were seven figures to you? I mean, I know. Taking Bebe's kids over to Small World. It wasn't that good, right? Small World, Small World. Y'all know what that's from? Robin Harris. God rest his soul. Robin Harris was a great comedian. I saw him this last night of his life, actually, at the Regal Theater in Chicago, on the south side of Chicago. This was maybe it was 89, something like that. Somebody could look it up and let me know in the comments, but I think it might have been 88, 89 that he died. Robin Harris, unbelievably talented comedian. If you see the movie Do the Right Thing by Spike Lee, he played the character of Sweet Dick Willie. He was at the Regal Theater and he died, unfortunately, that night. It was very sad, but it was a great show. But look, here's the thing. Make a small sacrifice now. You're just never going to have to do it again. And you're so close. And let me show you how close you are, okay? Let me show you these three deals. Let me show you what I picked here, okay? We'll probably go just a little long tonight, but not too long. Look, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes more, something like that. Okay, just because I know it's late East Coast time. I like to do these when people aren't working because I know all y'all are on that job slave 9 to 5 thing, right? A lot of you are. Can't do it in the day. Look, the three deals that I chose, these are highly typical deals, much easier to acquire. Some of y'all are thinking, oh, wholesaling is the thing I should do. Go get properties at 70% of value. You know, trying to get those accepted and then assigning the contract. Yeah, you can get paid. You get paid one time. But the deals I'm going to show you are actually easier to get, and they're cash cows. They're golden geese that keep laying golden eggs over and over and over and over, as you'll see, again and again, until you decide to kill the goose and go ahead and cash out. So deal one that I'm going to show you from, a couple months ago in 2023. Deal two, cashed out in the last year. Deal three, cashed out a few months after that, later in 2022, actually. But I'll show you these houses. You're going to see they're not junkers. They're not mansions. They're just bread and butter homes across America. They comprise the majority of that $50 trillion market. And they're out here by the thousands. Easy to acquire, easy to sell. If you have the right skills, if you have the right mentoring to help you get into a groove so you can go and get these. Unlikely, if I'm being candid, that you're going to get these deals watching little pieces and little nuggets, 0.0001% of what my clients get in our nightly training on how to do this. We'll get you excited about this stuff a little bit, but am I really showing you all the nuances? There's more to it. So this video that we're doing kind of gives you an idea of the potential. I'm not 100% sure it's going to put you in a position to do this. Trying, but the truth is you need help, and it doesn't even have to be from me. I just want you all to get some kind of a coach. There's a lot of good ones out here, actually. There's a lot of grifters. There's a lot of good coaches. There really are. There's people who've made a lot of money doing this because it's not that hard to do. But, you're going to need to put some kind of investment into it, not $47, right? Or free. 95% of the time to be successful, you need a coach. And if you want to explore that with me, again, it's not going to be like a big time sales. I don't even take everyone in the program, but I like to talk to people. We'll do a one-on-one, jump on a call. Anyone can schedule a Zoom. I won't charge you for it. I might make you think about things, but I'm not going to beat the crap out of you on there. Or it is going to be me. It's not even going to be some douchey salesperson like all these other guys do, right? I don't even do that. Link should be scrolling below. Go ahead, book a call there. You'll speak with me personally. All right, look, let me show you what's going on here, okay? I want to show you how these deals get done. I got to put this thing into the stage, so I'm going to be on like a smaller screen now. Is anyone or no one is a trillionaire? Ocean 888, which is a very cool name. No one's a trillionaire as far as I know. But who knows, man? There's a lot of skullduggery out there. How you like that word, skullduggery? Look that one up. That's cool. That comes from the autobiography of Malcolm X, by the way, which is also a book that really everybody should read. Very interesting transformation of Malcolm X. Malcolm X used to be a cook in a kitchen in New York City and Harlem with Red Fox from Sanford and Son. He said that Red Fox had him cracking up big time. It's a good book. It's a really good book, actually. Don't just watch the movie. Maybe read a book, right? But I don't know. I don't know if there, but that's where I got that word skullduggery. I don't know how I pulled that out of my brain, but interesting word. And I don't know the answer. Here, I'll just show you. Here was his question right here. Is anyone on Earth a trillionaire? I don't know. I don't know. Somebody find out and let us know in the comments. There you go. Ocean 888, my man. All right, let me show you these deals, folks, because I know not everyone could stay on here all night. I'm gonna show you these deals. Okay. All right. So first, what we have, do these houses, these are the pictures of the houses, right? Do these houses look like little junkers? They're not junkers. I realize that this is a little bit small in writing, but these are the settlement statements here. I forget the exact numbers. This one was 50 some grand in profit because we had someone cash this out relatively quickly. If you can hear that ringing, that's my dog going crazy over here next to me. This one, there was like 150 at exit, but over the course of time, we had like another 100 grand of profit on it. And then look at this. I don't know if you can see this number here. This is like $700,000 on one deal. I got to explain how that happened. Okay. So let me get into it with y'all. So here's the way this goes down. First of all, oh, I did put the numbers. I put the numbers next to the houses. So that's how you get to over $1 million. Now, some of these properties you're going to get, but because of the way we sell them, where we put tenant buyers in these properties, sometimes you're going to get cashed out relatively quickly. Like on this one where, I actually made more than the 60 some profit in here. I'll explain that in a minute though. You're going to get cashed out quickly on them sometimes. Other times it's going to take a few years, which is good because you're paying down debt. You might be getting appreciation. You're building up equity in the property and you're continually getting new people in there that are giving you non-refundable option fees. And then there's longer term ones where this just happens. It feels like into perpetuity, where you go through a lot of people and the next thing you know, you're sitting on 700 grand. That's a good freaking day. That's a day where you go out and buy an Aston Martin Vantage, or not. You know the car I'm talking about. Anyway, I don't like to talk about that kind of stuff, but the V12, if you're looking it up, the Vanquish. Anyway, $700,000 payday is not a bad day, is it? Not a bad day. So how do we generate these profits? Well, take a look at these bullet points. If I buy a house, even if I have zero equity in it because I just picked up somebody's debt, meaning their name stays on the loan and I take over the debt, all three of these deals I'm going to show you, work similarly. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm not going to put a normal tenant in there. I'm putting someone in the house most of the time where they're giving me a non-refundable option fee for the right to move in the house and have the pride of home ownership. At least they have control of it, right? Because they have an option to buy it. I can't sell it out from under them. They have an option to buy it. I give them an option to buy it during the term of the rental. And if they don't buy it during the term of that rental, I keep that option fee. But during the term of the rental, they're responsible for maintenance. They're responsible for repairs. They're paying down the debt that's on the house, which is creating equity for me, more money for me. And if they end up moving out, maybe the property is appreciated. Even if it hasn't, it's not a big deal. And then I just go do the whole thing again, get another upfront option fee. So that's what I mean by forfeited buyer option fees. That happens sometimes. Almost always have monthly cash flow, more money coming in from our buyer than what we're paying out on the underlying loan, particularly now when we're taking over these properties that have low interest rate loans on them. There's a lot of people in trouble because of, whatever's happened with their job or, their personal life, but they have a loan on the house that's, 3-4%. Can't get those. You can't get 3 to 4% loans now necessarily, right? So we're picking up monthly cash flow. We're getting underlying debt pay down, and then we have a cash out final sale. Okay, so let me kind of show you an example here. I'm going to show you deal one here. Okay, this was the little one. Okay, so we got this house. There was $310,000 owed on it, and it was only worth that much. Who wants to pay $310 on a house that's worth $310? How do you make money on that? No equity in it. There's no way I could get this at 60, 70 cents on the dollar because too much was owed. But I did agree to take over the payments because the payments were low enough that I knew I could put a lease option tenant buyer in there who would give me a down payment and pay me enough monthly to overcome the monthly that I was paying on the house. I'd get debt paid down over time. And if they exercise their option, I'd make money. Why would I make money? Because the sale price for them has to be a little bit higher within the appraisal range, but a little bit higher because they have the option to buy the house. So I sold it to them for $339. So let's look at the profit centers here. I don't like to put people in a house unless I'm getting, somewhere between 5 to 8%, sometimes a little higher, 10%. But we got from this particular buyer a $22,000 option fee. Now, if they exercise their option during the term of the lease, where I think I only gave them 18 months on this one, then we apply it to the price. Well, my payment on this house was, a little less than $1,500 a month, but my rent on it was $2,300 a month. So I made $800 a month also, which for 18 months added another 14 grand into my pocket. But guess what's happening when I'm paying down the underlying loan? Well, I created almost $10,000 of debt pay down during the 18 months that I held the property. So I didn't owe $310 anymore. I owed $300 on it. Actually, the seller owed $300, but it's my house. So I actually owe the $300 because there's a $300,000 lien on it, but the loan is still in the seller's name. So now, a year and a half later, the tenant buyer owes how much? Well, $339 less the $22 they gave me is $317, right? But I owe the bank $300. So now I should have only got 17 grand at close, which would have been fine. And I don't want to go through all the details of a lot of advanced stuff, but I was actually able, because there was a second lien on the property that was that we were able to essentially extinguish through some negotiation on discounting bad liens that are in a bad position, right? Like on a loan to value basis, that lien was in a bad position and they had kind of chalked it up as bad debt. So we were just able to get that extinguished. So I ended up reducing the second lien that was on the property. It wasn't like a loan. It was like credit card debt, I think, that was put on the property. But we were able to get that distinguished because it was better for the credit card company to just write it off, take the tax loss, and we got them to remove it from the property. So we reduced the debt to where I didn't owe $300. I only ended up owing $258 on it at the end of the day. So when we closed, got $53,000, right? The $317 that the tenant buyer owed less the $258 that I owed the bank is 53 grand. Here's the math: $339 to the buyer less the $22 they gave me. Their balance is $317. I ended up owing the bank because of the things that we did, $258. But even if I had owed $300, this wouldn't be as much, but it would still be $17,000 more dollars that I got there. But because we did some other things that you're not going to learn that stuff on YouTube, guys. It's too granular to even do a YouTube video on it. No one would show up for it. But you learn that stuff when you actually work with a coach. Doesn't have to be me. Lots of people know how to do that. But we ended up, with a much bigger payday. Almost 59 grand, right? So look, let me show you these again. This property right here where we made the 254, instead of the tenant buyer cashing us out, they moved out and we went and got another down payment. Cycled through a couple of years. They moved out. We got another down payment. I went through several of these buyers to the point that the property had appreciated, and my option price to the last person who finally cashed us out because of some appreciation was way higher. So we made $254,000 during the course of ownership of this house for a couple of years, a few years. Longer term, held this one not quite 10 years, but we had a multitude of people in and out of this. Property values went up, debt went down, all kinds of forfeited deposits along the way from good people who just decided to not exercise their option. And we ended up with $700,000 of equity. That's well over $1 million. Look, do you think you can do this? You think you can do that? You need to learn it, right? But you can. So, I mean, just imagine for a second, like, what does an extra $1 million mean to you? Forget the million, actually. How about like a tenth of that by this time next year? How does that change your life? Where would you go? I mean, what would you actually buy? I love to see it in the comments. Go ahead, put it in the comments. Let me know in the chat, because I'm just curious. What would you buy? $1 million, $100,000. I'm going to post up the best use of funds on the live if I see them in the comments. Let me check these comments. Let me know what y'all would buy. What would you buy if you just had an extra 25 grand? An extra 100 grand? Obviously, with $1 million, you do a lot of things, but tell me about it. I want to hear it. Look, here's what else might happen. Let's say you don't get these skills. Then what happens? Now, I know people are scared of loss, right? I was too 30 years ago. Everybody is. In 1992, I spent like 25 grand on coaching, which would be the equivalent of 100 grand today, right? So everybody is afraid when they make an investment in something like this. The fear of loss is actually a greater motivator than the potential gain, according to human behavior research. So I do totally get it. But, how are you going to overcome that so that you're just not another guy or gal who's living less than your dream life? Maybe you're in a 9-to-5 that you hate. You're in a rat race. You're sick of the rat race. How are you going to overcome that? What's more frightening? What's a bigger gamble? What's more risky? You spend a few $1,000s that you already blow on stupid new iPhones, other crap in your life. What's more risky? Prioritizing funds that you're already spending, prioritizing it into coaching so that you can get the skills that can produce millions for you. I mean, come on, sell something, use a credit card, even pay off the credit card after you make your first deal, pawn something so you can get it back, borrow the money, get something going, folks. There's lots of alternatives that are out there. And I mean, if it's too scary or too risky, just compare it to doing nothing and thinking about it, attending generalized events like this that pump you up. But let's face it, kind of like pretty close to zero chance of, from a video, shepherding you across the finish line. That means you're going to maintain the status quo. Nothing's probably going to change if you don't get these skills. In another year, 3 years, 5 years, it goes by and nothing changes. What's more frightening to you? What's a bigger gamble? What's more risky? You gotta ask yourself that. Again, if you think training is expensive, it pales in cost to what lost opportunity costs each and every day, each and every week, each and every month that you go without knocking out one of these deals that puts 25 grand in your pocket, sends you on your way. So for Pete's sake, I can't even remember the last time I used that expression, for Pete's sake. For Pete's sake, imagine what life is going to be like if your financial problems are financial desires, problems obliterated, desires achieved, and you can just really focus on what you want to do, where you want to go, what you want to do, and just be free of what's shackling you. How does that feel to be chilling like a villain, chilling in that Aston Martin, whatever it is, even a nice Ford F-150, right? Chilling like a villain in the car you want, the house you want, doing the things with your family that you want, giving to the charities that you want. How does that feel? You're so close, guys, gals. You are so close. You have no idea how close you are right now to being able to do it. These deals are not that complicated to learn. I bet your job is way tougher. Not to be a downer, but I mean, if you don't pursue this, you tell me. I mean, tell me if this sounds like a parallel to doing nothing and maintaining the status quo. You get up tired. Maybe you're sitting in traffic. I came up in Chicago, right? Terrible traffic. LA, way worse, right? Lots of places are worse. Maybe you're not sitting in traffic, but you're getting up. You're probably seeing the same morons at work and their cotton Dockers, polo shirts, looking like some D-bag out of the J.C. Penney catalog, J.C. Penney. They think they're better than you because they've got some manager position above you. Maybe you get home from work tired. You can't unwind because of the chores, because of the kids, because of the responsibilities that you're barely able to meet. Maybe you're too tired for even romance with your wife or husband. Relations. Not to be crude, but come on now. You end up doing that same daily cycle 5 days a week, only to live for that 2-day weekend. 2-day weekend goes by so fast that by Sunday at 2 p.m., you're already dreading Monday. I mean, are you willing to settle for that when you don't have to? Are you willing to settle for that? Whose choice is it to settle? So look, if you want to do something about this, you're just so much closer than you think. I'll say it again. You're very close. I wasn't born with these skills. The people who are doing this all around the country, they weren't born with these skills. They get someone to transfer them to them. In my case, a couple people, actually. Now, one passed away recently, Carlton Sheets. Thank God, I started with him, continued on with Ron LeGrand. Even Robert Allen, right? Older guys, right? I mean, you two can, you still get trained by Ron LeGrand if you want to, right? But the older ones, like I'm not that old, I'm 55, but the older, I feel like I'm in good shape, but the older ones eventually are going to die or stop doing this. And then all you're going to be left with, and it's a sad state of affairs out here, guys, all you're going to be left with are new people, new ruse, so to speak, who have done very well, which is a great thing. But frankly, what I'm seeing on Instagram and in some of these communities out there, a lot of people are confusing a bull market for brains. Some monumentally stupid stuff being taught out there, guys. None of these folks who haven't been in real estate for at least 15 years have really been put to the test because it's been a bull market for a very, very long time. I've been through 3 downturns. Pick your coach wisely, folks. Doesn't have to be me. But before you decide, hey, jump on a Zoom with your boy. Jump on a Zoom. Let's discuss it. 100% free. Let's see if we come up with a plan. I'm sincerely going to try to help you. You can just use the link in the banner there. All right, let me just look here real quick. Let me see if we got some comments. So Tom said he'd pay off some debt. Tom, I would hope you could pay off the debt and do some more fun things here. Extra 25 grand, get coaching. That's a great answer. See, you're in Facebook, so I can't actually see. Here, I should put these in here. Here's what Tom said. He said he'd pay off some debt with that money. That would be good, man. That is definitely freeing when you pay off some debt. Extra 25K. See, I can't see, like when I do it like this, it says Facebook user, 25,000, get coaching. Guys, I'm not the only one out there who can teach you skills. There's a ton of skills that I don't have in other venues. I pretty much got this at a very high level, and I'm able to convey it in a way that doesn't cost you too much. But there's other skills that you can get. So if you have that kind of money, maybe you use these skills to get more money and then go do something else that you like. You could definitely do that. I'm a big believer in coaching, guys. 25 grand, get coaching. That's a great answer. I've spent over $1 million on coaching for various things. You guys know I've been in private equity, venture capital. I've even paid for parenting. I got custody of my kids when a long time ago when they were just children. I paid for parenting coaching. Don't know if it worked yet. We'll see, right? They're still pretty young, 14 and 18. We've had our ups and downs and things with things that have happened. Everybody has with kids, but I pay for coaching because I know it's the accelerated pathway to success. Now I'm going to tell you, out of the $1 million, 800,000 pure garbage, pure waste. I get exposed to that stuff too, but I don't, get all butthurt because I wasted $10,000 or $5,000 on a coaching program that sucked. I just know what not to do. And I move on to the next one. Now, maybe not all of you have had the luxury of being able to do that, but I can tell you the $200,000 I've spent while on coaching has made me millions of dollars, and it's well worth it. So that's actually a great answer there. What's this comment here? Let me look at this here. It says, should have put the rents to gain compounding interest on the rents and borrow. Oh, no. Oh, honestly, I got to tell you, that's a very long discussion. But there's a lot of issues with what you just said there. So I'm going to take it down. You could do it. But look, other vehicles, you can do the exact same thing without some of the risks that strategy presents. So maybe we should do a call on that one day. I love you, Ocean 888. I love you, but that wouldn't be actually what I would do. Anyway, I appreciate you putting your comments in. Hey, look, reasonable people can disagree, right? Can't we all just get along? He's just saying. I like it. Just saying. Oh God, there's a really funny skit. Who was it that did it? I can't remember now. Which because a lot of people will say that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Oh, South Park. It was in South Park where Cuz like, yes, I know what you're saying. Anyway, look, folks, I kept you way longer than I planned on it. I hope this was useful to you. And we're going to do it again next Thursday. We'll jump on. We're going to kind of go through some other slides, some other things. I'll send you an email about all this. If you're watching this on replay, go ahead and, participate still. Put things in the comments. I'll come in, answer any questions that you have. I really do appreciate you spending this late evening with me. If you're on the East Coast, it's not quite as late on the West Coast, but where I am. But it does make me feel very good that you all will spend this time with me. So I appreciate y'all very much. Have a wonderful evening. I hope you got value out of that. If I was unclear in any way, shape, or form, let me know. I'll try to help you out, and we'll go from there. But y'all have a wonderful evening. I'm going to go ahead and sign off for this. Peace, love, happiness. Have a good one, folks. Adios for now.